so it's been a few weeks since I last posted a video. Since then, off camera, I removed the heads from the driver's side. Part of the reason why it took me so long to post another video was I was just frustrated with the way things were going. It seems that everything I take apart, something has to break on this damn car. So it's just frustrating me a lot because I know nothing is simple, but I'd just like a little break when it comes to this damn car. What started off as a small project of me changing out the gaskets and giving it an initial tune-up has turned into a big cluster. I was replacing the head gaskets partially because the more I took off, the more I knew that this car had been neglected. So I knew that certain things probably were on their last leg and needed to be looked at and cared for. And this is one of the examples of that. The carbon buildup on the pistons is just horrendous. I've done a little bit of research, and people say that, you know, with fuel-injected cars, you don't really have to worry about too much carbon buildup, and a lot of people say unless you have the right tools, you probably shouldn't try to scrape any of it because you can really mess up your engine. And since I don't really know what the hell I'm doing other than by following a book, I don't want to screw my car up, and I just really want to drive it and put it back together. So I'm at a loss when it comes to this. I don't know what to do. I just know I want to put it together and have it work again. My main goal was to, like I said, take the heads off, clean them up, replace the head gasket with something that wasn't almost 17 years old, and maybe clean up the block a little bit. As you can see, there's a lot of residue where the gasket would go, so I'll probably just clean that up with some with a cloth and try to get as much of it off with a razor blade as possible. The alternator bracket here, I'll probably clean that up too. All I ended up doing was just loosening bolts to take it off the head. It was a pain in the ass, but I finally did it without removing the pulley or without removing the power steering. So that'll probably be a pain in the ass, but one of the big frustrations is the exhaust manifold. I know the bolts can seize up with rust, and as much penetrating oil as I put on it, I still wasn't able to loosen the rust up, so I ended up snapping 2 bolts on the driver's side. So now I have to find some bolts to replace that. And with my luck, I'll probably go to replace them and break something else, and it'll end up costing me more money. So just wanted to share my frustrations. Today I'm going to videotape me cleaning the actual heads. I did one off camera, or a little bit, posted a picture of it and replaced the valve springs, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean it a little bit more, and then I'll actually replace the valve springs on the driver's side head so that you can see what the steps are for that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I'm going to do. I'm really eager to put this thing back together, so I've put it off for a couple weeks now. I don't really have too many excuses other than the exhaust manifold bolts, which I can't seem to figure out what the name of them are and where to find them. Every time I look them up on eBay or any auto parts store, it's not for this model vehicle. So I really am at a loss as far as that. So if you guys have any suggestions after watching this, please let me know. But yeah, that's where I'm gonna go ahead and pause my commentary and then get to work on cleaning these things. So hope you enjoy. Alright, so I cleaned up the outsides. The camera died, but I cleaned up the outside pretty decent. It's not perfect. Not really looking for perfection. Just looking to get a lot of the nasty gunk off. This is the driver's side. Clean inside there a little bit. Again, not looking for perfection, but I am trying to get a lot of the nasties off. And then on this one, I went over it again with some degreaser to make sure I got more of it off. Took a little bit of a razor blade to some of the areas to make sure that I could scrape it off. This is the one that I did initially. I did the springs. So for this one, I'm going to show you how I did the springs. I'm not going to show you how I do all of them. I'll do a time lapse on me doing all of them, but I'm not going to show you how I do all of them in real time, because there's other people out there, honestly, that show you how to do them, and I'm just showing you how I do them. So I'll put this down and videotape that. Alright, so this is the tool that I bought and that I use. It's pretty simple. You just screw it in into the head using an Allen wrench right down there. Once it feels somewhat tight, then you ratchet this little bolt down, and you'll see the spring start to compress and push the valve down. You don't have to do it so tight like I am. And then after that, you take a wrench or a hammer and you just kind of tap it, and you see the keepers or retainers, whatever you want to call them, pop out. Then you take a little magnet like this and you try to get them, coax them out. If they don't want to come out, then you just tighten the spring down some more to give them a little bit more to release. Again, the magnet pops them out like so. It's hard to do this with just one hand, so again, don't judge me. Come on. Things are stubborn as hell. There we go. Pops that sucker out. And you just loosen it, spring back up, and once that's all loose, get this all loose, pop that up. that. And there's your valve spring and your retainer. Then you have your little seal in there. So to get that out, what you need is a pair of pliers, like some vice grip. Now that I got that one out, what I'm going to do is I'm going to time-lapse me taking the other ones out. And don't mind the angle, it's the best I can do. Alright, now that they're all off, I can push the valves down and then pull the seals off and replace them with new seals, and then put the new valve springs on, new retainers, new locks, and we'll have the driver's side head down, for the most part cleaned and put back together, ready to put the new head gaskets on. And we're gonna end up putting this car back together, I think, this weekend, hopefully. And then let's hope it all works. If it doesn't, you know, I'm at a loss for words. So let's get to it. So all the springs are off. I took all the valve seals out, and I put all the new ones in except for this last one so that you can kind of see what I did. So first I take the new heater, and then I take this, I put some oil on it. Since I only have one hand, I'm not really going to get to see that. Put a lot of oil on it using like a Q-tip. See, a lot of oil, and I put it over the top of the valve stem. And then I take a, what does it say, 13 millimeter long socket or deep socket. Put it over the top. I know this isn't the right tool, but then I will hammer it down until it is seated properly, like the rest of these, and then I'll show you how I put on the springs. Alright, so here are all the springs. There's the tool, just like it when I took it off. You put the tool on, compress the spring. Hopefully the valve lines up, doesn't give me a bunch of problems. Once you compress it, you put the little locks, keepers, whatever you want to call them. When I did these, I had a lot of problems getting them to line up to put them on. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a lot of problems with these as well. So let's try and do a time lapse.